For the longest time, I've been convinced that the navy blue blazer is the only sport coat you need in your closet. But I stand corrected. Now don't get me wrong, I still think it's an absolute staple piece for every man's wardrobe, but it does have its limitations. For example, you can't wear it with navy blue odd trousers, otherwise it looks like you're putting together a Frankenstein suit. Same thing goes with the navy blue chinos. And even to the untrained eye, you can just tell that something's off. And even though you can wear a blazer with jeans, it just doesn't look good with navy blue, deep indigo blue jeans. So it does have its limits. So I set out to find a sport coat that can take care of all those three problems and put together some other outfits. Now I got this idea from Sergio Inez from what my boyfriend wore. He put some really nice outfits together that I really like, so I knew I needed to pick one up. But I'm a little bit limited where I live in El Paso, Texas. Now we do have a men's warehouse, but by and large, the majority of what they have there is going to be fused suits with polyester blends. And we have a Macy's, but even worse quality. Everything there is going to have a polyester blend. So I knew that if I wanted to have variety and quality, I needed to partner with today's video sponsor, my friends over at Dillard's at Cielo Vista Mall. Now Daniel did an amazing job helping me put together my first custom suit through Alton Lane. So I knew I could trust him with this process. So I made my appointment. Now again, I knew this is where I needed to be because this is where they have the most variety in options and quality. They have different options in textures, fabrics, colors, fits, brands, tons of options. And before he started showing me different sport coats, we sat down and went over my vision and what I was looking for within this sport coat. And I gave him a few non-negotiables. One, it absolutely had to be 100% natural fibers. No synthetic fibers, no polyester blends. I prefer it to be something unstructured or minimally lined so that I can wear it throughout the year. I wanted something with textured fabric and with patch pockets so that I can dress it up or down. And I wanted something that would go with navy blue trousers, chinos, and jeans. And one of the last things that I requested is I wanted to be able to walk out with the coat without having to get it altered or tailored. But I will tell you, one of the great benefits about shopping with Dillard's is that when you buy something that's not on sale, tailoring or alterations are completely free. It comes with your purchase. You're not going to find that at Men's Warehouse, and you're definitely not going to find that at Macy's. So once he got my vision down and what I was looking for, then we started the process. Now, because Daniel's very thorough, he took my measurements first to make sure that I was still floating between a 40 regular and a 42 regular, because depending on the brand and the cut, that can change. So once he took my measurements, then we started looking at different options based off what I told him. We were trying to stay within the realm of something between a cream color, a mauve color, maybe something beige. So we ended up with 4 options. The first one you see here was a mauve color that Daniel suggested. It was a really nice coat. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit snug, even though it was a 40 regular. So I passed on that one. The second one was a little bit more of the color that I was looking for, a little bit more of a tan taupe color. But the fabric was just a little bit thick, and I knew I couldn't wear that one in the summer. And then the third one was a little bit closer to my vision. It had some brown, but unfortunately a little bit too much blue for what I was looking for. But this one was getting a lot closer to the fit that I wanted. Then we came across this gem. It was exactly what I was looking for as far as the cut and the fit. 40 regular and did not have to be altered. It was a tan oatmeal colored Houndstooth Sportcoat, patch pockets, minimally lined. It just had a butterfly line in the back, 100% wool, no synthetic fabrics. It was extremely comfortable and it fit all my non-negotiables. So we went with this one. The appointment with Daniel went as smoothly as I thought it would, just as well as it did during the Alton Lane process. So guys, if any of you are in the El Paso area and you're looking for a sport coat or a suit, please make your appointment with Daniel. For those of you that don't live in the El Paso area, I'm going to drop a link below where you can make an appointment with any dealers within your area. I highly recommend them, and I really want to thank Dillard's for sponsoring today's video, for gifting me this sport coat and being a part of this project. But now let me show you 5 outfits that I was able to put together with this sport coat. Starting with the first one, I paired it with these taupe colored trousers from Hart Schaffner Marks. It's a Dillard's brand. A white 2-ply cotton shirt from Eterna, it's their 1863 line. A brown Grenalux tie from the Tie Bar. Some brown Cohen loafers from Beckett Simonon with the matching belt. This is a great monochromatic look, kind of an old money look, which is great for a business meeting, a conference, dinner, or even a lunch date. So take a look at this. I'm wearing the navy blue blazer, but I paired it up with those navy blue odd trousers. And because one is a hop sack material, the other one's more of a sheen wool, it just doesn't flow. But while we're here, I wanted to show you a couple faux pas that a lot of people don't pick up. In fact, I was guilty of them for many years myself. But take a look at the shoes. These light brown shoes are just pulling from the outfit. And even worse, I decided to throw on the brown belt, breaking it up even more. But the other one that you'll see is I'm not wearing socks. Now, I'm a huge fan of the no sock look when I'm wearing loafers. But if you throw on a tie, absolutely throw on some socks. If you throw on some Oxfords or Derbies, you need to throw on some socks. It just doesn't flow. But if I decide to take off this tie and I'm just wearing the sport coat, not this blazer, I can go with the no sock look. Now I know this is a video about sport coats and blazers, but I wanted to touch on this because I see it so often and I wanted to help you out. Because even if you get the blazer and the sport coat right and you do this look, you're completely throwing it off. But let me show you how this is supposed to look. Let me see if you can tell the difference. So let's start with the not so subtle differences. I switched out the blazer for the sport coat. I threw it on with the brown and blue striped tie from Brooks Brothers to bring in the taupe from the sport coat, from the brown in the tie, the blue in the shirt, the blue in the tie. Now the more subtle changes, look at the shoes. I went from those tan colored loafers to these deep dark brown Oxfords. They're so dark brown that they almost look black. But what that does is it allows me to wear a dark brown belt. I also threw on some navy blue socks to match the socks to the pants. It's one of the questions I get frequent in the comments. What color should my socks be? You should match as much as possible the color of your socks to your trousers. If not that, then at least your shoes. But since these are cap-toe derbies, I threw them on with some socks. One of my favorite looks for a navy blue is a brown. It's a great contrast for more of a sophisticated look. But this is a great look for an office setting, business, dinner, very versatile, but I didn't stick with just going with that navy blazer on blue. I went with this nice colored oatmeal sport coat. Now in the next outfit, I'm gonna show you that you don't have to stick to browns and blues. I'm gonna put on some gray trousers and still put that look together with this oatmeal sport coat. Now let's take a look at this outfit. Let me show you the difference between wearing an outfit and styling an outfit. And the attention is in the details. So instead of going with the brown or taupe colored pant or navy blue, I went with this charcoal color. These are high-waisted trousers from Brooks Brothers. I threw it on with a sky blue shirt. And if you look closely, if you look at the tie has gray, it has blue, and it has that taupe color. So it's kind of bringing everything together. What I wanted to show you also is that you don't have to stick to brown shoes. Because of the darkness of the tie, I was able to put this together with black Cohen loafers from Beckett Seminon with the matching belt. So a lot of people may think, well, you just put that outfit together. There was a lot of detail that went involved with putting this together because it's not easy to pull off charcoal with taupe. So you're gonna have to pay attention to the details to put that look together. But let me know what you guys think. This is actually my favorite outfit of this entire video. Now let's move on to the last two outfits. And both of these are ones that if you try to pull off with the navy blazer, it's just not gonna go. But let me show you how to do it right. Let's talk about the intentionality of this outfit. I've made it a little bit more casual. I've decided to go with these navy blue chinos. In the beginning of the video, you saw that I was wearing navy blue chinos with a navy blazer. Just doesn't go right. But throwing it on with this oatmeal colored sport coat over a chambray shirt, removing the tie, making it a little bit more casual, but also a little bit more of the details is instead of going with a dressier watch, I went with a slightly more casual watch. And you also might notice that my collar is staying up nice and stiff. The way I've been able to do that is I picked up this little piece. These are metal collar stays. They have a magnet. So I put the collar stay in the collar, the magnet right behind it. That way I'm not battling my collar going over my sport coat or coming out of it. So it gives that a nice, crisp, clean look, and the collar isn't going anywhere. I'll link these below for you guys. For the footwear, I brought down the formality of the footwear as well. I'm wearing these pebble textured loafers from To Boot, New York. And because I don't have a tie, I went ahead and went with the no sock look. So again, it may seem like all this was just put together, but there was a lot of intention in each piece to pull this all together. Let me know what you guys think. Now for the last outfit, let's talk about how to wear this sport coat with dark blue denim. Now in this outfit, you can see that I'm wearing the dark blue denim, but I'm wearing that navy blazer. And even though you can wear a navy blazer with jeans, you want the jeans to be a lighter color. When you're wearing dark jeans and a deep navy blazer, again, it just looks like a Frankenstein suit. So if you want to throw a sport coat with jeans, and you're going to have to pay attention to a few details. So what I did is I went with a little bit more of a casual suede loafer. It's in a coffee color. I went with a matching belt, similar color to the sport coat, bringing it all together. To add to a little bit more even of a casual look, I went with a linen shirt from Banana Republic. To maintain the casual look, I also went with a little bit more of a casual watch. So if you want to go with jeans and a sport coat, there's some details of the shoes, the belt, the shirt, and your accessories. Bringing that whole look together where you're wearing a sport coat with jeans, but still making it look classy and elevated. There you go, guys. 5 outfits that you can put together with this sport coat, including 3 that you couldn't do with a navy blazer. If I haven't convinced you by now that if you already have a navy blazer, this should be your next purchase, I don't know what else to tell you. But as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.